Hello guys, welcome to SR Studio. It's me, Shekhar over here. In the last part, we have completed all the basic steps required to authenticate the user. We have validated our form for the sign up, and let's move to create our user into the Firebase database. So first of all, we need to create a variable over here. The variable is going to be for the Firebase authentication section, that is going to be Firebase auth, and I'm going to name it as a mauth. Okay. And in our on create method we are going to initialize it. Amount is going to be firebase or get instance. It will get instance to your firebase authentication section. Now into our sign up method we are going to create the user with the email and password. So it amount dot create user with the email and login. Amos is going to take the reference of create a reference to your authentication section of the Firebase, and using that reference we are going to create a user with the email and password over there. So passing it over that name, okay, sorry, email and password. The string which we have created over here, we are going to pass it over there. The name and email, they are containing the name and the email and the password from our edit text. Okay. After that, dot on complete listener, add on complete listener. That is going to be the new on complete listener. Okay. Now, if this task is successful, if task dot if now if the task is successful, then if task dot is successful, then we are going to get the user information. Okay. Okay. Now if the task is successful, then we are going to get the user which has been currently created by this email and the password. So right in the task work successful firebase user, firebase user, I'm going to name it as a user info, or user is equals to task dot get result for the user, and that get user. Okay, it is going to get the current user which has been created in the Firebase. Now if user is not null, then we are going to make the user sign in. User is not null, that means not user equals to null, then that means if the user is successfully created in the Firebase or not, we are just checking it. It's going to error. So let okay, sorry, that is going to user is not equals to null. Then if the user is not equals to null, then we are going to sign in the user. That is going to amount dot sign in with the email and password, and the email is going to be the email and password is going to be password. Okay, and again we are going to add on complete listener. There is going to be a new on complete listener. Make the semicolon over there so you don't get the error. And again, if the task is successful, if task dot is successful, then what we are going to do, if the task is successful, then we are going to store the user in the database. So first of all we are going to get a database reference. So create the database reference over there. Database reference, I am going to name it as database reference. It's going to be the firebase database get instance get reference, and we are going to create another child in that place. There's going to be a child, and that name would be user. Okay. Okay, and then database reference database reference is equals to database reference dot child, and that is going to be user dot get user ID. Okay, so what we have done over here, so basically this code is going to create a user. That means it's going to first of all pointing over the root directory of our database, and then create a child name user over there, and then again in the child we are going to create another child name user ID. That means the unique ID will be provided by the authentication section, and that ID will be our child, and then inside that child we are going to store our data. Store our data. Okay, the structure is basically going to be look like this: user, under that user with the user ID, and under that it's going to have some data. Okay, so let's go and create it. Now we have created the child with the user ID, and now we need to store some data. For that we need to create the user model over there. Okay, so go to your package, right click it, create a new Java file over there. Java file, I'm going to name it as a user model. You can name it anything you like. Okay, user model, it's going to contain some string. String, that's going to be the name, email, and password. Okay, and hit alt insert, and then generate some getter and setter for that. Okay, that's it in the user model file. This is basically going to help us in saving and retrieving data from the firebase. You need to also create a public constructor user model constructor, taking a no arguments and parameter over there. Okay, user model, so we need to create a reference to our user model. Create a user model, user model, user model is going to be a new user model over there. It's not going to take any parameter as the constructor is playing. Then using that user model we are going to store data into the firebase database. Yeah, user model is going to be user model about the user model dot, we are going to set, first we are going to set name, and the name is going to be the name. Okay, user model dot set name to, sorry, set email over there, email to email, and user model dot set password to password. Okay, we have what basically we have done, we have get all our edit text and converted all the values to the string, and then we have checked if only value is null, or we have validated if the user ID is correct, or the password is not less than 8, or all that stuff. And then we have created the user with the email and the password, and if the task is successful, then we have got that user which have been there in the firebase or authenticated in the firebase. And then with that user we have made him sign in, and after that we are storing that data into our firebase database. Okay, so one last step, database reference dot set values to the user model. Okay, this is going to set all these values in our database which we have created with the child user and another child in it with the user ID. Okay, that's all thing we need to do over here. Now go to the on click, if the is validated returns true, then we are going to sign up the user. So just call the sign up method over there, and at this time if you run this app, you are going to see our whole code in the action. Okay guys, I have opened my firebase console, and before you write anything into your app, first go to the authentication section and set up the sign in method and enable this email and password authentication, otherwise you are not going to get authenticated. Okay, I have opened up my app. Okay, and I am entering the name. Okay, I have hit the continue button over there, and I hope it has created the user. Okay, there you go. The user with the shaker9065@gmail.com has been created over here with the unique user ID that you can see over there, which we have get to create a child over there. Let's go to our database section and okay, the user. Okay, let me compare it with the code. So first of all, we have written that we are going to get a database reference to the node of our directory, that is going to be this, and after that we are going to create a child in the user over there. Okay, the user child user has been created, and then within this user we are going to create the user with the user I child with the user ID. So the child with the unique user ID is created over here, and in that we are going to store our data. So that is our data, the name, email with the shaker9065, the user which has signed in, that is his email, and the name is over here, and then the password is there. Okay, all the things are ready. So that's it for this guys, that's it for this tutorial guys, and in the next lecture we are going to continue with our this section and make the user sign in using the firebase. If you like what you saw, please subscribe to my channel and don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. Thank you guys for watching. See you guys in the next video.